All right, well, I'm alive, it said, or live. Hi, Stevie. How are you? How are you doing, Stevie? And whoever else is here. All right. Stevie, how are you today? All right, I'll say something as soon as all right. So this is my last Saturday class live on YouTube. I'm not sure for how long, but for now, this is it because I will be in person starting on July 12th. So people watch this recorded. So anyone that practices with me live in Southern California, we're going to start live again. 4 classes, July 17th, and then whatever else it is. Hi, Pat. I know that you said, Pat, that you probably wouldn't be coming live. So this class, I'll do the lives, the 4 lives. I'll see how it goes. I'll start back at Torrance Memorial Live in mid-July and see how that goes. And I'll determine whether or not this class goes back to YouTube or not. We'll see what happens because we cannot do a hybrid model. And so we'll see. We're going to be flexible. We're yogis, so we'll be flexible. So anything in particular, Stevie or Pat, that's going on that you want to address in your body or your mind, since yoga is for the mind. People don't realize that, but it is. So let me know if there's anything going on in particular. This being the last class of this session, okay. That's okay, Stevie. This being the last live class, I want to do everything. I want to try to get all body parts, try to really loosen up all aspects of our body. So I'm going to, do a lot of different things. So as always, do what you can do, focus on that. And then I'm going to go back there and get started. So whoever comes, and we will be doing our thing. All right. We might have a Hamilton sighting because he's still here in this room. He has not left for the day. So at some point he may join us. So we'll see what happens. All right. So get whatever you need for the practice. You definitely will need a blanket and a square block and a strap. So that will be definitely part of the basic props. And then I'm actually going to use an egg block to do chest expansion to support a back bend. Really important to do supported back bend. So if you do not have this, which I know a lot of you don't, but I definitely want to use it and promote this because I think it's great. But really to give you the visual of the shape that we want, this is the thoracic spine. We're trying to really bring a back bend into the spine. So I'm going to use this. You could use a block and a blanket. So for those that don't have that, or those of you that have bolsters, you could actually use a bolster as well to help support a back bend. So whatever it is, just supporting a back bend, chest opening, stretching chest muscles, stretching shoulder muscles, stretching the front of your spine. Really, really important for so many aspects of healthy aging, of a healthy body. So whatever it is you do, this, that, or roll up your blanket. So roll up your blanket and put that behind your spine. And yeah, let's do that. So just whatever, make it really easy. Make it not be too difficult for yourself. Finding something that's appropriate for you. And then we're gonna come into that. So what you wanna make sure is that you support a back bend, some kind of this in your body. And of course, if that's not good for you, especially if you have issues with your shoulders, any tears, recent tears, you want to make sure that you don't pull too much on this part of your body. So making sure that you minimize that. Do whatever you would like. It is your practice. I'm here to guide you. My voice is the one you hear, yet I want you to listen to your voice more than mine so you stay safe in your practice. And then bring yourself onto whatever it is you're going to do today, whatever prop you're going to use. If you're wondering about the egg block, it's called the 3-minute egg, and you could get them on Amazon. I think they're about $30 for a block, which might sound like a lot, but honestly, all of this stretching that you'll do with your spine and muscles of the upper body, super important for healthy aging. For those of us that are aging, which I guess is everyone, right? Every day we get older. So arrange yourself in a way that you feel the appropriate stretch in your body. And then closing your eyes, bring yourself into a position where you can focus on your breath. Bringing yourself to the present moment. Let your knees be bent or legs be straight, whatever feels better for you. Bringing that awareness from the mind down into the body. So feeling, switching from thinking to feeling. When we're in the place of feeling, we're in the place of present moment. The only thing that's real is the present moment. Everything else is past or future. So stay here right now. Mouth is closed, breathing in and out through your nose. Knees are bent or legs are straight, arms are out to the side. Find in your body something where you feel a stretch. And I like to do the most simple breath that I began in my practice of yoga. Really helped to balance my mental energy. It's the Ujjayi, or the ocean breath. And it's a restriction of the throat. There's 3 areas we have control over the breath. One is the diaphragm, the next is the throat, and the last are the nostrils. So for this breath, we're going to actually restrict the throat so that the flow of air is slowed down. Keep your mouth closed. Begin to breathe in and out through your nose. Breathing down into your torso. So feel the breath moving down. And feel how you could direct it even deeper so you get to other areas in your body. And then bring your awareness to your throat. As you start to add a restriction, and you'll actually be able to hear or notice the sound difference when you make that restriction. And let your mind be in your throat. Noticing what this brings up for you. So try to keep an expansive mind, noticing if there's any triggers of anything when you bring your awareness to your throat. If there are any feelings of restriction that are negative for you, think of expansion. Let your mind notice that your breath is slowing down. Think of the ocean. This is also called ocean breath. So think of the size and enormity of the ocean if you feel anything triggered or negative. Noticing that sound. And on your next exhale, say the words to yourself, I am breathing and I feel it in my throat.
On the exhale, all of those words really slow. So slowing down the pace of the exhalation. I am breathing, and I feel it in my throat. And then adding the word whisper instead of breathing. And make it be like a whisper. I am whispering, and I feel it in my throat. I am whispering, and I feel it in my throat on your exhales. And for these last few breaths, slow down those words. Slow down your exhalation. Let your awareness be in your throat, noticing and going slow. For your last breath, add a smile to your face. Keep your mouth closed, but bring a smile into your face. I am whispering, and I feel it in my throat. Give the breath back to your body. Let your body breathe itself and notice what happens. Where does your breath go? Is it shallow near the top part of your chest? Do you feel it moving deeper? Where is it? When your body breathes itself, what happens? Become the witness. And bring your awareness to your lower ribs. That's your primary breathing muscle, the diaphragm. Do you feel that muscle moving downward with breath? Don't affect it. Just notice what your natural set pace of breath is. Take one more breath. Bring movement into your body by moving your fingers, moving your toes, then move your hands and your feet. If coming into a fully outstretched position is appropriate for you, depending on whatever position you are in, whatever props you're using, try that. If you're able to clasp your hands over your head and turn them so the palms move up, try that. If you do that, you feel a pretty strong stretch in the middle of your body, your torso, as the rib cage moves away from the ribs, creating space in the abdominal area, the low back area. Breathing to your belly. And then go ahead and release. So we want to come off the prop depending on how much movement you're doing in your back. It may be a lot, like if you were using an egg block. And you're going to come onto your side. Stay here. Let your spine settle here. Then take your hand on the ground in front of you. Use your hand and your elbow to push yourself up to seated. And clear your space. So they say that the average adult breathes 12 to 15 times per minute. So that's the average. And most of us are shallow chest breathers up here. Even though this is the primary breathing muscle, the diaphragm, many people live up here. They use secondary muscles for breath, which is not good, unhealthy, creates a lot of muscular tension in the upper back and neck. A yogi or a meditator could maybe do half of a breath or one breath in a minute. And when I time people, I'd say the average breath for 30 seconds for most people is around 6 to 8, 8 being more of the average. So learning how to slow down your breath and learning how to breathe deeply, really important for health. And that's one of the aspects of yoga. We did the Ujjayi, we restricted our throat. The other areas you could do is the diaphragm or the nostrils, like we do in Nadi Shodhana, alternate nostril breath. So practice as often as possible in managing your breath, really important for health. All right, have your strap handy, your block handy. Take your blanket and bring your blanket up to the top of your mat. We're going to come down onto the ground. So come onto your buttocks. Let's do a little here to warm up hips. So take your hands to the side, take your legs wide. Farther away from your body if you need, wider if you need. One thing that's really important, don't let your chest collapse. So use your arms in a way that your shoulder blades could go behind your upper back to help support and keep your chest lifted. And start to move your legs a little side to side. And actually it's more about, think about the leg that's coming in to the middle, really stretching the front of the hip, maybe up to the rotational muscles of the trunk. And then the leg that's going out, you're going to stretch the adductor muscle group, the inner thighs, which is supportive of hip health and knee health. So move back and forth, side to side, starting to lubricate your hips, warming up your body. And then when you're doing this, I want you to feel the connection of your buttocks on the ground. So feel the sits bones, the pelvic bones, how you move to one side and completely move off the other side. And then go through center towards your tailbone and then to the other side. So just feel that in your body. And then your body might migrate down towards the bottom of your mat. So notice if there's movement, you might need to readjust your body here. And then bring yourself back to center. Let's do a little strength thing before we go down on the ground. So yes, you can, or no, you don't have to. Let's do tabletop. Let's open up the front of the body, the chest muscles. Fingers pointing towards your pelvis. Arms are closer together, unless your wrists need you to modify some other way by putting them out to the sides. Feet are a little wider than your body and a little far away from your body. Take an inhale and an exhale. Oh, let's do an inhale again. And now on your exhale, push your feet in, squeeze your tushy. Try to unbend your hip joint by contracting your glutes, and then inhale to lower. Exhale to rise. Inhale to lower. There's going to be a lot of stretch here in the front of the shoulders, so make sure it's appropriate for you. The higher you lift your pelvis, the more you come to a tabletop position, the more you're going to go into stretching the front of your shoulders. So make sure it's appropriate. Push your fingertips into the ground. One more. And then bring yourself down. Take a rest for a second with your hands. Moving your hands, the fingers. And then we're going to do one more thing like that. So if your hands can handle this, we're going to do a reverse plank, lifting our body up, really strengthening posterior chain, glutes, lower leg muscles. So put your hands wherever you need. If your wrists are not happy, you could do fists for wrists, stacking your joints. You don't have to lift that high, just whatever you can. We're gonna do this with breath. Inhale. As you exhale, contract your glutes, push your heels into the floor, lift your pelvis up, and then lower. Exhale to left. Inhale to lower. 2 more. Nice, strong upper body. 1 more. And then bring yourself down. So getting a lot of blood to go through all the muscles with that little warm up there. Let's come down onto the ground, come to your side, take your hand long and away from you, and then bring yourself down onto your mat. Wow, definitely feel my shoulders from that. Come into a fully outstretched position here. If your shoulders will let you, your arms could go overhead, otherwise modify and bring them to the sides. Fully stretched body here. So for those of you that are relatively tight, I would say to fold your blanket a little bit more. Give your head a little bit more support. And then for those that have pretty good upper body, especially spinal flexibility, you could have your blanket be a little lower. Take your body into a fully stretched position. Take inhale. As you exhale, slowly start to bend the left knee, draw the left knee in. Try to let that knee track nicely. So notice how it's tracking. Hold on to your leg, draw your leg in. That's your exhale. Take your right arm to the side, holding on to the left leg. Keep your left knee pretty high as you bring your left knee out to the side. So warming up the hips. You might feel the hip flexor on the opposite side. You might feel the adductor muscle group on the leg you're moving or working. And keep your kneecap pretty high here as you bring your knee to the center and then switch. Take a hold with the right hand. Draw the knee over to the right. This is the left knee over to the right, stretching the outside or the side part of that left hip. Then bring yourself back to center. Hold underneath your hamstring. Unbend and bend. Warming up the hamstring muscle. Unbend on the inhale, exhale to bend. 1 more. Beginning of the practice might be a little challenging to try to move towards a straight leg, or it might be challenging even if it's not the beginning. Lengthen your leg away from you as you lower down. Go slow, strengthening hip flexors and core muscles. Inhale, arms are overhead. Exhale, slowly draw the right leg in. Go slow because then you're in your joints and you have to really track and use the muscles of the joints to stabilize through movement. Draw that knee in, draw the knee as close to your body as you can, and then hold on to the right leg. Keep the kneecap high, the knee high. As you open up that right leg to the right, keep your pelvis stable here. So stretch the hips. Noticing where you feel this. And then we're going to go slow to bring the right knee over to the left. Take the right arm to the right. And then guide that leg over towards the left, stretching lateral chain muscles. Muscles that are really important for hip and knee health. And then bring yourself back to center. You inhale to unbend, exhale to bend. Beginning of the practice, starting to warm up your body. Last one, point, moving towards a straight leg. Go slow here. Use the muscles of the leg, the hip flexors, to lower the weight of the leg down. Inhale, arms are overhead. Exhale, left knee comes in. Inhale, open left knee to the left, arm goes to the right. Keep your pelvis stable, and then bring the left knee over to the right. Hold on underneath, unbend and bend. 1 more. Point that leg, really lengthen it away from you as you lower down. Use the stabilization muscles of the trunk. Inhale, exhale, draw the right knee in. Inhale, right leg to the right. And then guide the right leg over to the left. 3 hamstring lengthening movements. And then point, stabilize your trunk. 1 more with each side. Inhale, exhale, left in, left leg to the left leg to the right. 3 hamstring lengthening movements. Point, stabilize, lower down. Match your breath with your movement. Inhale, arms are overhead, right knee in. Right knee to the right knee to the left. 3. Point and lower. Come into a fully outstretched position. Inhale, and then exhale to bend your knees. Take your left kneecap in your left hand and your right kneecap. So you're not on the side, you're coming straight from up above. Hold on to your knees, arms are straight, low back should be away from the ground, and you're really needing to hold on here. Inhale. Exhale, draw your knees into your chest. Separate your knees, so spread them apart. Let your knees move away from you. Knees together, knees towards you, apart, away from you. Try to let your hands do this and let it be a pretty passive movement. The hip joint is a ball in a socket. Let that ball roll around in the socket, stretching the muscles, creating lubricating fluids. And then notice how your pelvis goes along for the ride. Pelvis tilts backwards, low back flattens when the knees come in, and then your pelvis moves back towards a neutral position when your legs go away from you. Let's switch the movement of the circle. Push your legs away, spread them apart, draw them towards you and together. Away, apart, towards you and together. And let your hands do this. This is a circle. Let your hands move your knees around in a circular pattern. One more. And then draw your knees into your chest. So draw the knees in, rock side to side. Feel the low back pressing into the ground and try to rock across the top of your pelvis. And then go ahead and bring your legs on the ground. So still staying with the hips, warming up this part of the body, the hips, the legs, muscles of the legs, muscles of the pelvis, the core. Take your arms to the side, and if you could bend your elbows and let your arms be pretty high, try that. I'm going to do a windshield wiper action. So at first, keep your pelvis on the ground, kneecaps up towards the sky, soles of the feet are on the ground, and let your knees just go side to side. Soles of the feet are on the ground. Close your eyes. See if you could feel where that stretches your body. So maybe at the front of the hip joint, maybe all the way towards the lower ribs. And the eyes are closed. Go a little farther now. So maybe the soles of the feet roll off. You're not trying to get to the floor. You're trying to let your knees move side to side. Keep your pelvis on the ground. So push your pelvis on the ground. Feel the body weight going from left side to right side through the center. So not letting your spine get involved yet. Keeping this in rotational muscles and stretching the psoas, one of your hip flexors. Other hip flexors as well. And then now you could go a little bigger, let the pelvis tilt. So maybe one buttock leaves the floor. Notice where you feel the stretch now. Maybe it stays in the front, might stay in the sides. For some of you, it goes to the back. If it goes to the back and it's uncomfortable, you want to push your belly button towards your spine and try to push the top of the back of the pelvis onto the ground. So you activate posterior tilt and protect your low back. Close your eyes. You want this to feel good. So you're not throwing your legs to the side. You're not trying to get to the ground. You're rotating your pelvis. Your rib cage stays stationary. And the muscles that rotate, core muscles and trunk support muscles, are stretching. Bring yourself back up to neutral. Let's go a little wider here. So a little bit more hip focus when our legs are wider and more leg muscle focused. Let your legs go side to side. Hold on to the top of your mat. So grabbing onto the top of your mat, sometimes your body may start to migrate down towards the foot part of the mat. And then if you'd like, you could come onto your heels, lift your toes off. The leg that comes into the center, let it come in and push it away to try to unbend your hip. Keep that in the hip and the top and the side. And move to the full range of motion where you feel the most yummy stretch possible. One that feels good for you. And see, when you come to the center, can you draw your knee far away from you so you feel a stretch all the way to the lower ribs? Next time you come to the left, stay there. Turn your head to the right. Try to unbend that right hip. Push the big toe edge of the foot into the floor. Hip up towards the sky. And then take your right hand, flex your wrist, reach your right hand long. Try to draw the right lower ribs away from the top of the pelvis. And breathing to the right side, whether it's the front of the hip, the waist, or the low back. Close your eyes. Take one more breath. You're going to bring yourself back to a neutral position. So come through center with everything. Your head is looking up. Your kneecaps are pointing up. Your buttocks are on the ground. You feel the weight in your sacrum. You're neutral again. And then we're going to go to the other side. Let your legs go over to the right. When you arrive, push the left knee away. Push the big toe edge of the left foot into the floor. Push the left hip up towards the sky. Unbend that hip. Let your head turn to the left, lift the left hand off, flex the left wrist, reach through the heel of the hand and stretch your left side body. And then breathe to the left side, the waist, the front of the hip, the low back, lower belly. So feel the maximum stretch on your left side. Take one more breath. And then bring yourself back up to center. Walk your feet back. So I'd like to stretch the outside, the outside part of the hip, so the glute muscles, whether it's the glute, the side glute, and then the lateral chain muscles. One of them up here in the pelvis, and then it turns into a big supportive band of tissue that supports knee joint. So let's stretch that. Make sure your head is on your blanket, not your upper body. And then press your arms into the ground, lift your rib cage away, slide your shoulder blades towards each other to keep your shoulder blades on the ground. Let's do the right leg over the left. So take the right leg over the left and then press the back of the right thigh up towards the top of the left thigh. And then take your hands, clasp your hands behind your head. Elbows are out to the side, neck is nice and long here. Pushing your knees away from you, exhale. As you inhale, let the legs move to the left because the right leg is on top. So as you move to the left, you're going to be stretching the right side. Feel that. Push the left elbow into the ground as the weight of the legs goes to the left. And then exhale back to center. Inhale with length. Push the right leg away from you and to the side. Exhale, contract your core to bring the weight of your legs back to center. Feel yourself rocking from the center of your sacrum to the left buttock, to the edge of the left buttock when you move. Push that left elbow in to stabilize your body. Feel that stretch on the right side. Bring yourself back up. Last one, you're going to inhale to the left. Let your head go to the right, so your head looks to the right. Then if you want to deepen the stretch, you could walk your left foot over to the left, using that left knee to push into the right calf to really pull that right leg over to the left. Push the right leg away and over to the left. Push your belly button to your spine. Try to push the top of the back of the pelvis towards the ground. Feel the stretch on the right side. And then slide the right arm down, slide the left arm up for stabilizing, or if it feels better, stay where you are. And then do the opposite. Slide the left arm down, right arm up, really stretching that right side long here. Push your belly button towards your spine, low back towards the ground to help protect your low back. Take one more breath. Bring your head back to neutral. Bring your knees back up. Walk your feet back to center. Take your legs off of each other. Push your feet into the floor. Lift your pelvis up. Put your pelvis in a neutral position. Bring your hands onto your belly. Close your eyes. Notice what you notice in your body. And then we're going to go to the other side. So move your feet so they go into a neutral position. Take the left leg over the right leg. Make sure there's no space here. So you don't have a space. Pushing your back of your left thigh up against the right thigh. Take your hands behind your head. Exhale. As you inhale, push the left leg away and let it move over to the right. Push the right arm into the ground. Exhale, contract your core, bring yourself back up to center. Inhale to lengthen. Exhale to contract, bring yourself back to center. And then one more, you're going to inhale to lengthen. Stay here. Walk the right foot over to the right. Use that right knee to push into the left calf to pull the leg over to the right a little more. Push your belly button towards your spine. Try to flatten the low back towards the ground. That'll add that posterior tilt, protect low back here. Take the right arm up towards the sky, left arm down, sliding on the ground. Head to the left. Breathe to your belly, or breathe to the place you feel the most tension. Then bring yourself so that your left elbow slides up towards the left. Keep your hands on the ground. Try to keep your elbows very close to the ground here. So lengthen the left side of your body. And breathe to the left side of your body. So create as much stretch as you could feel on the left side by the left hip joint, left buttock. Take one more breath. Bring your head back to neutral. Contract your core to bring your legs back up to center. Take them apart. Push your feet into the floor, lift your pelvis, and put it back down into a neutral position. Either knees to chest if that feels better for you, or a fully outstretched position if that feels better for you. And then go ahead and bend your legs. So let's do a little core work. Bring your hands up towards the sky. Hands up towards the sky. Walk your feet closer to your body and bring your knees up. So the closer your knees are to your chest, try that. Bring your knees to your chest. Low back will go onto the ground. A little more protective for low back. For those of you that want a little bit more work, if you bring your knees above your pelvis, you now have to activate the core muscles to stabilize your pelvis. So you choose wherever you want to be. We'll do brain and core at the same time. You're going to inhale to tap your right foot down to the ground and left arm straight back. Keep your right arm where it is. Don't move the right arm. Inhale. And as you exhale, bring yourself back to neutral. Inhale, left toe, right hand. Exhale, back to neutral. Slower you go, the harder it is. Farther away from your body, you take your toe. Harder it is to come back up. Keep your trunk stable. So either the knees are above your chest or they're a little farther away. You either tip your toe down or towards the ground or even farther away. Modify the practice for yourself. Only one arm and one leg move at a time. See what happens if you close your eyes. One more each side. Bring yourself back to center. Draw your knees into your chest. Let your low back flatten. Then take your legs wide in a happy baby. So the knees come towards your shoulders. Your legs are spread here. Low back presses into the ground. Grabbing the big toe if you can with spread legs. 2 fingers go in between first and second toe, and the thumb goes on the big toenail. If you can do this with legs spread, and you bring your knees towards your chest. It's very easy if the feet are together to grab onto them, but you want to grab onto them if they're far apart. And you don't have to do that. You could hold on behind your hamstrings, stretching a lot of things here in the hips, legs. One more breath. And then bring yourself back to neutral. Take your legs up into the air and point and flex. So you can have your legs in the air, the knees could be close to your chest, low back will flatten, or you can make this a little bit more core focused, having your legs be above your pelvis, having to stabilize your pelvis. Point and flex. Pretty strongly, point and flex. Feel the front of the feet, feel the calves. And then take your legs a little wider than your body, circles. Let your kneecaps stay stationary. Your legs are stationary. This is an ankle joint movement in one direction and then in the other. and then bend and straighten your legs, or towards straight. For some of you, straight is a little challenging. Try to reach through the heels to get the most stretch to come into the back of the legs. Legs right above your pelvis, activating core, knees closer if you need. Your practice. And then bring your knees in. Take your left leg straight, your right leg is in. So stretching that left hip flexor muscle group. Draw that right leg in. Feel that left leg stretch. If you'd like, you could come into half happy baby here, stretching even deeper the leg muscles and the hips. So either holding onto the foot or underneath the thigh. And this asymmetrical work is good to release tension in the low back and in the torso. Take one more breath, and then we're going to switch. So draw the left knee in, straighten the right leg. This is the hip flexors, so pay attention here to how this feels in your body and modify accordingly. If it's not comfortable to have a straight leg, then bend that leg. But if you're able to, keep it straight. And then coming into the half happy baby here, where you take your hold on underneath or into the toe and straighten the opposite leg. So do what's right for your body. Take one more breath. And then bring yourself to neutral. Let's get the strap. Bring your right leg up. Take the strap on the right foot and take the strap near the arch and then about a quarter or half an inch towards the heel. So really making sure we get to the back of the leg. Wrap your hands around. Draw the leg towards your body with a bent knee. You could straighten the left leg or keep it bent. It's up to you. You're going to inhale to bend and exhale to straighten or towards straight. The more folds you have of the blanket behind your head, the more support that will be. So if you're a tighter person, like the Tin Man in The Wizard of Oz, then fold the blanket behind your head. And then take your leg, bend your knee, and take your leg back with a bent knee. So moving into the belly of the hamstring muscle group, you'll feel that in the middle of your thigh with the bent knee. Drawing that leg towards the wall behind you. And then bring your leg into a straight leg position and do that same thing. It'll be a little less. Now pulling on the origin and the insertion of this muscle. So pulling on bones underneath the knee and at the pelvis. Take one more breath. Bring yourself back to center. Being okay with wherever you are. So not letting the, oh my gosh, I'm so tight mentality set in. You're here doing what you can. The more you do this, the more limber your body will become. So we're going to go into the adductor, the inner thigh stretch. For those that are tighter, be near a chair, a sofa, a wall to rest your leg on when you move into your maximum range of motion, or having a block to support the weight of your leg. Keep your leg pretty high and then open your leg to the side. Keep your pelvis stable. Adductors, inner thighs. So the block is there to support the weight of your leg if you need it. Or a chair or a sofa. So if you're near a sofa or an ottoman or something where you could rest your leg and still feel that pretty intense stretch on the inner thigh, try that. Your opposite leg, you push that into the ground. Keep your pelvis stable. Both buttocks are on the ground. Feel the sacrum in the ground. Take one more breath. And then bring yourself back up to center. Switch the grasp of the strap. So take it to the opposite hand. Keep your leg pretty high. Slight internal rotation. Toes are pointing in the direction you're moving. And then just the leg itself moves over to the side. So stretching that iliotibial band, side muscles, letting the leg move over to the side. Keep it pretty high and over to the side. For those that are relatively flexible, you could actually keep going, letting that leg go over to the side. Make sure this is appropriate for your body. Not great for posterior hip replacement on this side if that's you. What you want to do is you want to push your leg away from you. So whether you have it straight up and down or you go all the way to the side, take one more breath. And then bring yourself back up to neutral. Let's switch. Take the other leg into the strap. First thing we're going to do is go into the belly of the hamstring so your knee is bent. You have your leg, and you're going to introduce the stretch by bending and extending the knee. Watch your knee. How does it track? Does it go wobbly, or are you able to bend it straight back? And then come to a bent knee position and guide the leg towards the wall behind you. You could straighten the opposite leg if you'd like. That'll stabilize your pelvis a little more. Really draw that leg towards the wall behind you. Oh, make sure your strap is by the arch and slightly towards the heel. So you're really getting a hold of the back of your leg. And then bring yourself up to center. Now we're going to take the leg straight back, a little less range of motion. A little more intensity maybe. Take one more breath. And then bring yourself back to center. We're going to stretch to the side. So get yourself in whatever position you need for that. You're going to use the block, a chair, a wall. Actually, I'll show you the wall. Because the wall is really good for those of you that don't have a lot of flexibility. Many people cannot let their leg go all the way to the side and do it like that. So having a wall near you or a sofa or a chair can be very helpful. So either the right leg is straight or bent, and keep your leg high as you lengthen out to the side. And having your leg rest against a wall, pushing the pinky toe edge in, stretching the adductor muscle, keeping the leg high, keeping your pelvis stable. A wall can be really helpful for a lot of people. Make sure your pelvis is stable, your leg is pretty high. And then breathe into wherever you feel the most tension. Mouth is closed, let your breath go and release tension. Take one more breath. And then bring yourself back up to center. Switch the strap into the other hand. Slightly internally rotate the leg. Toes are pointing in. And then guide your leg over to the side. And then for those of you that are going to go bigger with this, this is my hip replacement side, so I'm a little cautious. Although my doctor told me not to be, or he said I didn't need to worry. But I worry. So whatever you do, you have to be in your body, you have to feel. This is a lot of tension on that posterior hip capsule, on the glutes, on the side muscles. It also goes into your back, so make sure that this feels appropriate for you, whatever variation you're choosing to do. And then take one more breath. And then bring yourself back up to neutral. Bring both legs into the strap. Take your legs really wide here and straight and wide. And then soles of the feet are up towards the sky. Push the pinky toe edges into the strap, and then let your legs go back. Your low back can flatten onto the ground here. Keeping your hips, your knees, your feet, your ankles healthy with limber legs, and your low back and your pelvis. Take one more breath, and then go ahead and release. Take your legs, shake your legs. Should feel pretty good here in your legs. And then bring yourself onto your side, and from there all the way up. So notice how you feel. That's a lot of stretching of leg muscles and hips. And we did that on the ground. So let's add a little bit of weight to this. So we'll do a lunge. Let's do a lizard, like a static held position here. So bring your knees onto your blanket. Have some space in front of your mat. Have your block handy. Bring your foot forward. So whatever foot you'd like. And then your knee is back. So what we want to make sure here, let's start the other side. What we want to make sure with this is that our entire pelvis can move forward. That's what's going to stretch the back of the leg, the hip. We're using weight here to stretch our hips. So we should be pretty open in our hips. And now we're going to add a little bit more weight to this. So you come up, you might need your block here or your hands here. If balance is an issue, walk that front foot over to the side so you have a wider base from the back leg to the front. And then your spine is long. Your hands could be on top of your thighs, or one could be on your block as you bring your whole pelvis forward. So your whole pelvis moves forward. Your front knee and your front hip bend deeply. You feel that strong stretch in the back hip joint or the back hip flexors. Bring yourself forward. Keep your heart lifted, your chest open. Inhale to come forward as you lengthen that back leg side. And then take that hand down alongside your body on this back leg side. And then you're going to inhale to lift. Exhale back. So stretching that whole side of your body, of the leg that's in the back. Let your gaze be up. And then one more, come forward. Come forward, stay here. Let your hand be up alongside your ear. If you could bring the other one up, bring the other one up. Push the front foot into the floor a lot and draw the lower ribs away from the pelvis. Feel the belly stretch. Take one more breath. Bring your hands together at your heart and then rotate over that front leg. You could put your hand on the block if you need and rotate like this, or you could take your hand on the outside of your leg, hands together, and rotate like this. Make sure your torso is not collapsing. Lift away from your leg. And make sure your pelvis is forward so you're stretching that back hip flexor muscle group. Yes, you could flip your toes under and lift your leg off if you'd like, adding more weight
hand strength to that back hip. Take one more breath. Bring your knee down, bring yourself out, bring yourself all the way out. Then just take a break. So sit down if your knees will let you, otherwise stay up or put your block in between tushy and heels. Close your eyes, catch your breath. Let your awareness go in your body, noticing what's happened so far today. And then take one more breath. Open your eyes. Doing this work here that we're doing now is definitely adding a lot of stretch to the hips, to the legs, to the pelvic area, the low back, the belly. So pay attention as you do these moves, what's appropriate for your body. Really important, because this is a deeper stretch than we would do if we're on the ground. Take your block. Now you're going to bring the other leg forward. Widen your stance or do whatever you need. Block if you need it. The more that pelvis comes forward, the more stretch you put into that back hip joint. So choose what's appropriate for your body. Exhale and then inhale to come forward. Exhale back and inhale forward. Go slow and feel this. And press that front heel into the ground to activate the glute on that front leg side. Take your hand down alongside your body of the leg that's in the back. And as you come forward, inhale and exhale. Come all the way forward. Stay there. Arm is up. If you'd like the other arm to come up, you could do that as well. Feel the lower ribs moving away from the pelvis. Then you're either going to bring your hand down onto the block, torso long, body rotating over that front leg, or come to the elbow on the outside, hands together. Keep your torso pretty active. So feel a stretch down in the waist area, in your abdominal area. And then if you wanted to flip the toes under and lift that back leg up, you could. Put that leg down, bring yourself out, bring yourself up. Bring yourself to a rest position. For some of you, it may be up here. For others, you're able to come down, close your eyes, catch your breath. Take one more breath. And then open your eyes. So let's stretch the belly from where the muscles that attach onto the pubic bone to the lower ribs, so this whole front belly area. Coming forward, your knees are on your blanket and your hands are forward. And then let your hands be pretty wide. Let your pelvis come down towards the blanket. Pushing away from the floor with straight arms. And then draw the lower ribs away from your belly or from the pubic bone area. Breathe to your belly. Take one more breath and then bring yourself up. So we'll do a plank from this position. You decide modified or regular, it's up to you. Hands come underneath the shoulders. Plank is a really great way to notice that you're developing strength in your core and your upper body. I met with a woman yesterday and she told me, I can tell I'm getting so strong. I do my plank the entire time you do it, which is about a minute. And I thought that was pretty great because she didn't start off like that. So I thought that was really a great noticing on her part on how strong she's getting. So coming into whatever variation of plank you would like, either modified with the knees and the shins on the ground or on your toes pushing through your heels. And then if you'd like to add a little bit more and make this a little more challenging, you can lift one leg up, coming into the three-legged version or three-limbed version, and then switch. Bring that down. Bring one hand off at a time if you'd like. And then the other. Bring both hands down. Long spine from the crown of the head, pushing through the heels. Push away from the ground with the hands and the feet. Take one more breath. And then bring yourself down. Knees are wide. Arms are forward. Stretching your spine. If you need to put a block underneath your forehead, do that. Or bring the forehead to the ground, low belly towards top thighs. Lengthen your spine. Take one more breath. And then bring yourself up. So we're going to come down onto the ground, do a little bridge work. I think bridge is one of the best postures for healthy aging, for a healthy spine. So bring your blanket up to the top of the mat. Bring yourself onto the ground. Then get your strap, a loop in the strap, and put your feet through that loop. You don't have to do it with a strap. You get a little bit more freedom to come up a little higher when you have the strap. You could do this with a block. You could put a strap. Move your blanket away. Strap is around your thighs, not too wide with your legs. Then bring your arms alongside your body. Lift your rib cage up. Shoulder blades towards each other. Hands could be down alongside your body or arms could be bent. Feet are body distance. Push out in your strap. Tilt your pelvis back. Inhale. And as you exhale, squeeze your tushy. Push out on your strap. Keep your head where it is. Don't look side to side. Lift your spine up as far as you can. And inhale to lower down. Exhale to rise, contracting your glutes, pushing away from the ground. Unbend your hip. On your next one, you're going to come up and stay up. Stay up for 3 breaths. Finishing that last breath, bring your spine down.
Bring your blanket back under your head. Take your strap off your legs. Bring your knees into your chest. And then spread your legs into the happy baby. Soles of the feet are up towards the sky. Low back is pressing into the ground. Side to side. And bend your knees, hold on to your kneecaps. Arms are straight. Let the weight of your legs feel like they're falling towards the ground, and you've got to hold onto them to stop that. So release that tension in the pelvis, in the low back. Let the work of the middle of the body go. Take an inhale. As you exhale, let your hands pull your knees towards your chest, flattening the low back, and inhale to straighten. This is called Apanasana, knees to chest, or wind releasing pose. Let it be your hands that are tilting the pelvis. Let the body be passive and receive this. Mouth is closed, breathing in and out through your nose. Last one. Bring your feet onto the ground. Bring your legs straight, coming into Shavasana. Let the legs go wide. The arms could be alongside your body, or the hands could be on your belly. Keep your mouth closed, breathing. Stay here. Stay focused on your breath. Bring your awareness back to your throat as you add that restriction of Ujjayi. And notice the whisper in the throat. Gently begin to deepen your breath. Start to bring movement into your hands and your feet, your arms and your legs. Noticing how your body feels today after the practice. Bring yourself onto your side, and from here up to a kneeling or a seated position. Hands are together at your heart. Spine is nice and long. We'll close with sound, a humming sound. Take a big exhale. Inhale. Closing the practice, bring your hands to the forehead. Bring your awareness to this present moment. We bow in gratitude for the practice, the wisdom, the opportunity. Bowing at the hip joint to come forward in gratitude. So this is my last YouTube live on Saturday, at least until maybe August or September. If you're in Southern California, you can practice with me live. Otherwise, there's lots of recorded classes, and I will have one YouTube live class on Thursdays from 11 to 12:15 Pacific Standard Time. So you can find more information on my website about my classes, and I look forward to seeing you in any capacity, seeing you, whether it's virtually, live, or whatever it is to practice yoga. All right, so how are you feeling? Hi, Lauren. How are you? Hi, George. How are you? Great, Lauren. I love to hear that. Just what you needed. Perfect. Glad that you're here too, George. You're still okay. Vitamin G. Thanks, George. Yes, gratitude. 3+ years ago, Stevie, virtually, but more than 3+ years ago, physically, right? So in total. Perfect. Yeah. Well, pay attention to today, because today we did a lot of hips, a lot of stretching. So just notice how that was for you. For those of you that are live, I hope to see you in person. George, will you be there? You are my Saturday person, so hopefully you'll be there on Saturdays. And I know, Lauren, you will be. You said you signed up already. Pat, I know you won't be coming there live. I don't think so, unless you can have Uber or something bring you. So hopefully we'll see you too live. Anyway, I'm off next week. There's no live classes. There are recorded classes. Still practice yoga every day or often to keep your body strong and limber and healthy. All right.
I'm off. So have a great time. All right, George, that's great. Well, I'll see you on the 15th. All right. Have a great day, everyone. Bye.